Fine. Happy?
Oh yeah, that's the stuff.
We won't lie, turning red has had a lot of parents brimming red with apprehension. Why, you may ask? Well, it's no secret that Pixar movies are family-friendly, yet they are renowned for tackling difficult subjects in whimsy yet approachable ways. But considering the movie is set in the early 2000s, there are certain things that only adults can fully grasp. And Turning Red has it all, from digital pets to some nostalgic parent-tween relationship dynamics. Stay with us as we dig deeper to find out more about Turning Red's classic adults-only references.
Red is a lucky color.
Take a guess. It's a Pixar movie featuring a teen Asian girl with a title so suggestive. Well, without spoiling much here for you, the movie tackles the difficulties of adolescence and tells the story of Me, a young woman whose coming of age is marked with an unexpected surprise: a red panda. Unusually creative, but we promise it kinda makes sense if you watch the full movie. When Me gets upset, she transforms into a huge, fluffy red panda. While this is undoubtedly cuter than the typical difficulties associated with early puberty, it further obscures 13-year-old Me's already perplexing time in her life. After all, how is she supposed to explain to her friends this new side of herself? And how can she balance her newfound interest in guys, notably the romantic boy band Four Town, with her desire to be a nice daughter her mother Ming relies on? In Turning Red, a Chinese-Canadian teenager with a very particular problem examines a period, pun intended, of life that every teen girl experiences. For those of you who remember early adolescent and are revealed that that is behind us, it is therefore quite poignant. That implies, however, that in addition to the customary Pixar elements geared for adults, the movie has multiple references to puberty that will be lost in kids who haven't gone through it themselves. And since the movie is set in the late 90s and early 2000s, the generation gap might just be at play here.
You! Oh, what have you done to my Mei?
Who?
Maylin Lee, right here.
Yeah, we know we are faring on thin ice here. Tamagotchis and mobile phones? Well, we don't expect the kids to grasp this entirely, but these digital pets did get some parents and teachers turning red with fury because of their incessant beeping, and not only that, 90s kids were obsessed with it. So basically, Tamagotchis were virtual pets that their owners are responsible for caring for by feeding, teaching, and entertaining them using a toy interference. Does anyone remember how needy they used to be? Half an hour without attention and they'd wither away. Although the early 2000s version had primitive visuals, youngsters frequently developed strong attachments to their Tamagotchi. So much so that schools had to ban these digital pets from accompanying the students. In Turning Red, Me makes a point of showcasing a spherical pink trinket on a keychain linked to a strap of her bag as she introduces herself at the start of the movie. And Me seems to be one of those people who are addicted to their pets, judging by how proudly she wears hers on her rucksack. Millennials and Gen Z may have lit up seeing these on screen, leaving all those kids scratching their heads in wonder. Anyways, that's not it.
Like it? I love it! I'll give you anything! Money? My kidney! My soul!
Now, this might be the reason Turning Red is rated PG. At this point, we can all agree that when we had our first period, it was a daunting experience. But since Pixar movies' main target audience is young kids, not all might not have gone through puberty yet. Spoiler alert! So basically, Me transforms into a red panda for the first time in response to a nightmare. As a result, she awakens in red panda shape without being aware that her body has experienced a significant alteration throughout the night. As any person would, she responds with shock, panic, and tears. The three of the devil works as she enters the restroom and sees herself in the mirror. Now, Me's parents are having breakfast in the kitchen when they hear her crying, which prompts Me's anxious mother to go into the bathroom door to see what's happening. Ming first believes her kid must be ill, but she quickly discovers something more peculiar is happening, and she believes she understands what it is. But since this is a problem that only women face and is frequently discussed in secret, she asks Me about using a metaphor that she has carefully researched. We are sure all adults would be curling with laughter after hearing this. Ming casually inquires through the restroom door to confirm her suspicion, and she asks, "Has a red peony bloomed?" To give credit to creativity, that really might be the first referral metaphor we have heard while talking about menstruation. Now, adults will be aware that Ming is unsure as to whether Mi has begun menstruation. Children, though, are probably just as perplexed as Mi, whose reaction to her mother is less than persuasive. No, maybe, implying that she is unsure of what Ming's metaphor means.
He's got doubts for days. Forget that. I need lunch. I'm starting to black out!
No lies, it is very evident from Turning Red that Mi is Ming's favorite person. When we first meet Mi, she is trying in all of her ability to live up to her mother's expectation of her as the ideal daughter. Well, we've all been there. Mi, however, is also beginning to develop her own personality independent of her own mother and her demanding expectations. We see her occasionally scream into a pillow when Ming becomes too intrusive. Now, adults will recognize that Ming and Mi are on the same road when Ming's mother calls, receives an agonized response, and then cowers while her mother berates her on the phone. This impression is confirmed later in the movie when Ming's mother confides in Mi that she and Ming were once close before Ming's red panda manifested. Ming wants Mi to remain precisely as she is, just like her mother did, but Mi must grow up whether she likes it or not. And as every teenager experiences, Mi will eventually feel like her mother is suffocating her if Ming continues to be overly protective as she gets older, much like Ming did with her mother. Unaware of it, Ming is just trying to recreate the same type of bond with Mi that she has with her mother, one in which they will always be in love but will never be as close. It is just a circle of life. When you are growing up, you consider your parents to be your worst enemies, but when you are all grown up, you have this epiphany that mothers are really your best friend. However, this is not it. For throwbacks, of course.
We love you, May. You're our girl. Yeah, no matter what. Panda or no panda.
You want it that way. Man, who can forget the Backstreet Boys craze? Fawning over our first crushes, garnering concert tickets, and fighting with their moms over broken curfews. Yeah, all adults must have instantly picked up on this subtle vibe reference. Tweens and adolescents were just obsessed with the Backstreet Boy lads and NSYNC in the late 90s and early 2000s as Mi and her pals were with the boys of 4town. And the film beautifully depicts how these bands provided early teenage ladies with a secure space to connect, express themselves, and have their first crushes. In fact, by portraying these groups as sweet-looking non-threats, the movie exemplifies exactly why these people were so alluring. It seems so delusional at the time, but we know why. These bands come across as hip and original, and their lyrics imply that if they ever made the decision to settle down with you, they would love you exclusively and without reservation. In fact, the movie even includes 3 original songs written by Billie Eilish and Finis O'Connell that are a parody of the straightforward yet memorable melodies that boy bands are famous for, and that they sustained their popularity over time. Anyone who spent time as a tween dancing with pals to boy band music or obsessing over them would immediately identify their experience in the portrayal of 4town. Some of the best memories of our life, aren't they? No turning back time now, but it is dawning on us slowly. We are growing old. Well, if you're a millennial who watched Turning Red, what did you think about the classic depiction of that era? Let us know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more.
Fine. Wonder if your mom knows her precious little May May has been flaunting the panda all over school.